All right, hello and welcome to HMNS 2060. This will be our first recorded lecture. I'm going to try and be quick because I'm having some coughing issues today. But today's just going to be kind of a brief overview of the course, introduction to me, the person teaching the course, and then a little bit of a video to orient you to this topic around or to teaching and learning. So first, I'm not going to go through these, but these will be the objectives for each. We'll have an objective, a list of take three. We'll have a list of objectives each week. Some of them will be accomplished just through watching the recording, but others will be just by completing the activities at the end of the week. Most of these are about understanding what's the purpose of the course, what can you find in the syllabus. Do you think that me as your instructor, I am equipped to teach this course? Hopefully you will, based on what I present to you today. And then we start to talk about why do you want to become a teacher, or why are you interested in teaching? Because here you're in a class called Foundations of Teaching and Learning. This is our agenda. The only one that is not going to apply is who are you? It's more of a global who are you answer in the discussion board if you haven't already. But I need to tell you who I am. Why am I qualified to teach this? We'll do a very quick dive into where you can find the syllabus and what's in the syllabus, but the scavenger hunt is for you to do to get to know it. A quick review of what's on Blackboard, and then kind of why do I teach? Why should you be interested, or why might you be interested in teaching? And then we'll be finished. We'll wrap up. Okay. So you saw this wonderful picture. This is actually my first day of classes last semester, which was also my first day at CCRI. So I'm still pretty new to CCRI. I am not new to Rhode Island or education in Rhode Island. I taught in both Providence and Coventry as a preschool, self-contained, and integrated teacher. I have past experience teaching or assistant teaching in preschool at a Montessori. I was a daycare director. I've also been a coordinator for early intervention, which is, for me, it was facilitating play groups for children with or at risk for autism, birth to 2 years old, and their families. And I've also taught courses in autism and inclusive education at UNC, which is in North Carolina, and UNH in New Hampshire. Who am I really? This is the fun or more fun stuff. So I was born and raised in New Hampshire. I did move to Rhode Island in 2012, and I lived there for 6 years. That was when I was teaching. And then in 2018, I moved to North Carolina to pursue further education. And then I moved back to New Hampshire in 2021, and I haven't moved since. This is my home. So I do commute. So even though I do teach in-person classes at CCRI, in addition to online, I like having both worlds. You can't really get the types of rurality, the mountains. You can't be an aspiring farmer if you don't live in a place like New Hampshire. So I love it. I mean, I love hiking, and we have mountains everywhere. I clearly love animals. These are our cats, Lonnie and Edgar. These are my stepdaughter, Grayson's parakeets, Rain and Forest. These are one of our chickens. This is Charlie. Charlie is the one odd duck of our 5. The others are Amber, Snowflake, Kathy, and Betty. And then this is Blaze, our corn snake, who is adorable. And then we have one more pet, a tarantula named Madge, who's a baby right now. In addition to just the people and creatures of my life, probably one of my favorite things, sadly, is TV, but I am most in love with sitcoms. And if you ever wanted to bring up MTV's The Challenge with me, I could talk to you about it for days. And then the last thing, my fun fact, when I was at UNH getting my bachelor's degree, I was a music education major to start, and I did opera. So I've been in 2 college opera productions as my fun fact. All right, so let's do the syllabus review. And for that, whoops, no, back. Oh, hold on. let's do the syllabus reviews. Let me bring over our Blackboard page. This is my site, so it's going to look a little bit different. Whoop, wrong place. So here you'll see I have already revised our syllabus, and you'll notice I'm going to keep doing that. Version 1 is here. That's to help you understand what might have been different between the first and the second. Here's version 2, the one you should pay close attention to if I were you. I usually wouldn't access it this way, but I did it again, didn't I? Oh my goodness. That better not be what I put there, is it? Hold on. Oh, there it is. So here is our course description. Let's go to the important parts. Here you see we have weekly discussions. Here's Mind tab. Here you see I added due dates for each of these bigger assignments so that you can keep them in your calendar. Here you'll see your initial postings and your responses will each be counted, so pay attention to that. And then I added the points for the handouts that you're doing now because I want to make sure those are included. After that, I'm going to start doing activities that for the most part are embedded within the lecture recordings to make sure you're paying attention to those. And then you have Mind tab, your interview, your observation lesson plan, and your final reflection. Here, hopefully it's clear when things are due. The one thing I want to show you, if you're not aware, because some people might have been confused by this, I don't know how to formally assign activities each week in Mind tab. So what I have done instead is I have assigned you activities that you can access and do in Mind tab. And so I would like you to read, obviously, chapter 1, complete the chapter 1 video quiz, and then complete quiz 1. And they're mostly the same because this particular text does not have too many options for what you can do. But if you're wondering what to do each week, you'll see them here. Okay, and I did have to combine some chapters because it is a long book. The other piece, and I'm not going to tell you that much about it because I want you to read and write about it, and then I can figure out if you understand it. Ooh, make sure it's here. Shoot. I don't think it is. So the one thing I will need to add here, because it's not explained, and I'm probably going to stop now, is that you are going to need to know what critical deadlines are. And maybe I accidentally took it out of this syllabus, but I will add that and then upload you the new version because that is very irritating. I thought I'd already done that. All right, let me close that and let's go to Blackboard because that is next on our list. I just want to show you, this is my Blackboard site, so let me try to switch to student view to make it a little bit easier. So here under weekly content, you'll see week 1. And then you'll see I have now added the 2 handouts and then the week 1 slideshow. So not the recording, just the PowerPoint. Here you will see, oh yeah, because I've kind of figured out what I want to do here, I have created the first 3 weeks of discussion boards. And here I can tell most of you have already done your posts, and I'm so happy to see that. But your intros are here. But if you're every week for the first few weeks, for the first 10 or 11 weeks, you will have a discussion board. I stop them towards the end because your bigger assignments are due. And then showing you the assignment section. So I'm going to reorganize this most likely, but you'll see these are all the assignment descriptions. Here is where you can submit your assignments. I will add the others later. For now, the only ones you need are the learner persona worksheet and the syllabus scavenger. Last, here's the information for Mind tab. This is how you access the test. The textbook. Unfortunately, it is not inclusive access. I tried to get it changed. It didn't work, but you will appreciate it because the original book was just the same book for child development. And I think it was a disservice to those truly interested in diversity and cultural competency skills. It just gave you an idea of cultural variations in development for children birth to 8, and that's not really enough information. So here, let me go to, this is my Cengage Center. Here's the way I can access the activities. I'm not sure if it's the same for you. So sorry, this is another course I'm teaching here. This is where you would access the activities. So you click on the course section. And then this is what's confusing. I need to figure out how to delete this. I don't know how to right now. Click on part 1, chapter 1, and here, I mean, you can see people have been doing them, but that's not the right quiz. Oh no, it is. This is where you find what you need to do, okay? So there's a video quiz that corresponds to the video quiz listed in the assignments. Similar, there's the regular quiz. This is what you need to do on MindTap. I hope that makes it a little more clear than it was before. But this is also, using these instructions is how you get registered, okay? All right, I'm gonna exit this preview, continue, and then we'll go to the rest of the slideshow. Whoops, the does. All right. So next question I have is, why are you here? I want you to take a minute to jot down your thoughts on what made you interested in this course and learning about foundations of teaching and learning. All right, I'm going to move on. Again, I don't want it to, you can keep writing, but I want to make sure we get to what we need to. So I found this, this is a nice video about the impact some teachers have made in students' lives.
I want to take this opportunity to explain to you.
So I'm not going to play the video only because I can't tell. I am using a computer where the speakers do not work. I know that my microphone works though, because I tested that out earlier. However, I'm not sure if you can hear this video. So what I would ask is that you watch this video in your own time, just to give you an idea of why teachers might do what they do. I'll give you my own story here, why I teach. So the first is a student I met long before I knew I was going to be teaching special education. His name was Sean, and I was working in what was called the ESY, Extended School Year Program, which is summer school for students who have significant disabilities. And this child was brand new, had significant disabilities, ran around with scissors, could not sit for longer than maybe 2 seconds, was aggressive, escaped his classroom, tactilely defensive, taught me everything I would need to know, or at least showed me everything I would need to know my first time working with individuals with disabilities. What was amazing about Sean and why this child remains in my head is I remember being matched with this kiddo my first year in the summer program as a brand new, just being a one-on-one and never really knowing fully what to do. And thinking, how is this child going to become, acclimate or adjust or become a productive member of the classroom? Well, 2 years later, I was back with Sean in summer school. He was 5 now, still in preschool, and a brand new child. This child could sit in his chair. He could listen and wait. He would raise his hand. He could cut with scissors. It was incredible the progress I saw. Now, some of it could have very well been, just maturing. And that sometimes is part of what happens with our students in preschool, but also this was a child who had definitely been given a lot of great tools to manage some of the impulsive behavior. And that was what really sold me on early childhood special education. Then I interned and I met Cami. Cami was a little girl with autism in my internship placement. And she had two amazing parents. And I remember Cami started, she was very close to her parents, had a hard time leaving. But after she was in school for a little bit, she really enjoyed herself. And she was pretty funny too. She seemed to understand what was going on. But her parents and their desire to support their daughter, regardless of her diagnosis, were kind of this dream of what I hope education continues to be, and that we can always work together to make that happen. Nick. Now I have to change and use pseudonyms now. My first two students were from New Hampshire, but because the remaining ones are Rhode Islanders, I don't want to use their real names in case you know them. Nick was one of my first students in my first public school classroom in Providence with autism. I will tell a lot of stories about Nick, but what I remember about Nick is when he came into my classroom unable to get his needs met communicatively, just grabbing everything he wanted, believing everything in the classroom was his, to being able to stop and point at a milk that he would normally climb to grab to make a request for it. He was nonverbal when I met him, but he wasn't by the time he left. Wanda, another girl with, again, the children with autism have really made my career what it is. Wanda was one of my favorite students in Providence. She also had autism. And one of my favorite memories from her was when there would be times when I would sing very loudly because my students liked it. And so one of my students in particular loved it. And so one day while they were eating snack, I just started singing Frozen. And when I stopped, Wanda at the end said, "Good job." As though it was scripted, very much like someone with autism would say, but in a very appropriate way. She was a darling. And then Yadi. I think that's supposed to be a child. One of my first students was also a little girl with cerebral palsy. And I remember her so well, her family, because I actually almost went to the hospital with her once when she was having severe seizures. And she was someone who, again, I recognized the critical importance of family and how knowing them, supporting them, makes a difference for them and for you. But it doesn't stop there. I could tell you, tons of kids. I can't use their real names. I will say Caleb is the most recent one that really have made an impact on me and the stories that I could tell. And I will tell throughout this semester. They're the reason why I teach. They're the reason why anyone teaches. We don't do this. We don't do this really for any other reason than to help kids learn and be successful. And that's where I'm at and what I've always wanted. And so I say this hoping that as you continue in this course, these are the things that you also want for yourself and for your future students, to just be happy and successful. That's what I want. All right, that's all I have for today. I kept that pretty short, so I'm proud of myself. Please watch that video on your own time. I think it'll be a nice, heartwarming video where we get to see what happens when teachers can make an impact. That's all I have. Thank you.